Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Shareece. I help Black men and women heal from trauma and toxic relationships. And today I want to talk about how I have zero regrets in life. Really, I've lived a life of intention for maybe almost all of my life. And I also think it's really important to listen to our elders, give us feedback and advice, and tell stories about things that they regretted in their life. And so I'm always cued in to people who are 50s, 60s, 70s talking about what they wish they did differently so that I can look at my life and examine what might I want to do differently. But so far, I'm only 36, right? So far, no regrets. One of the things I'm really happy about is that I did not stay in a toxic relationship for too long. So I've been very vocal on my channel about the abusive relationship that I was in, emotionally, verbally abusive relationship. We were on and off for more than 5 years. And so I am glad that we had like off periods in between those so I could get like insights, grow, learn, figure out like how to exit this relationship. But there are people who stay in toxic relationships for 30 years. Like I could have married this man. Like that's the one man that I actually really, really wanted to marry, like could actually see myself marrying before my current relationship. I'm so grateful that I got out of it when I did. Like it was really a good lesson for me during my 20s. And so by the time I was experiencing my Saturn return at 28 and then transitioning to getting out of grad school and where am I going to live and set some roots, it was really a good time to be ending that relationship and embracing more peace in my life. So I could have really stayed in that longer. I could have moved to New York. My life could have been so much different if I didn't learn, if I was like stuck. And I'm so grateful for that. That, I don't look back at that as a waste of time at all. I've had, excuse me, I've had some of the best moments of my life in that relationship, some of the worst moments of my life in that relationship. And all of it is a lesson, a blessing. I wouldn't take it back. I would do it over again the same way because I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through that. And to do that with somebody who, didn't really love themselves, but like being in a relationship healed parts of me, exposed other parts of me that I need to heal myself. And yeah, I just wouldn't be who I am today if I had never been in that relationship. So I'm glad it was 5 years and not 10. You know what I mean? The next thing I'm happy I don't have to regret is that I don't live my life for other people. And maybe up until I was 18, 17, I probably was considering a lot about how my life would be approved of by my mother. And me, in my like early 20s, focused on how things looked versus how they were experienced. Like, when I was in my abusive relationship, I didn't want people to think that I was like a bad person or mean or whatever, right? But that for the most important person that I wanted to impress and not disappoint was my mother. And in a lot of ways, being pregnant at 17 saved me because I didn't have to go through most of my 20s still trying to figure out how do I impress her or avoid disappointing her. I have already done I think what would be the biggest disappointment, and she's like unfazed and stable and loving me. So I might be best served just doing what I want, right? Doing what's important to me. And I think that accelerated my own personal growth so that things that I was learning at 23, 26 are things that people usually don't learn until they're like 46, 56. So I'm just like so grateful. I don't care about other people's, opinions. I just do what I want. And I'm just not worried about people. But particularly, I don't have to be held back by even the opinion of my mother. I love her and I value her opinion, but it doesn't move me. Like I don't think, oh, what might she think about? I don't. I'm just like, this is important to me. This is what I want to do. And I know she loves me and I know she'll support me. She doesn't have to agree. And that's okay. You know what I mean? And it's also okay if she is disappointed and disagrees. The world will not end because I create my world. Like my perspective is so valuable, the most important, that it outshines anyone else's perspective. Now, I'm open to feedback always, but I'm talking about like doing things that you want, like traveling by yourself or what else do people do? I don't know. Whatever decisions people make, becoming a psychologist. I didn't do any of these things because somebody told me it would be impressive to them. I did them because I wanted to. The next one is I live for joy, for fun, for ease and peace. I don't live to work. So being a psychologist is not my whole identity. I don't feel like I have to labor to prove anything. I don't feel like my self-worth comes from work. I'm a Taurus, so maybe it makes it easier for me to be lazy and do nothing. But I don't think you have to earn rest. I don't think I have to be productive in order to feel accomplished or like I've done something. I literally just do what feels like balance for me. And so I enjoy helping people. I do think that it's important to be of service to humans because we're social beings and you will get a sense of fulfillment and purpose out of doing something that's really important to you, that's helpful to other people. But I don't think you have to make it your whole identity. I don't think you have to make it your whole life. I don't think you have to work all the time. I do not believe in the 40-hour work week. I do think I was gonna say a Todd that a scheme that Todd set up. I do think that it's a scam, right, from corporations that are just looking for labor minions. You know what I mean? So I don't work a traditional 9 to 5. I have my own business. I work as an independent contractor, and I love my clients. Like I really enjoy. Certain people are able to find me at this particular time in their life or whatever, and come to me to do the work. Somebody helped me do the work. I also would love to help you do the work. So I love that. I love that piece. But I don't like full days. I don't ever work an 8-hour day. That would drive me crazy. And I work 5 days a week now, girl. I've scheduled in taking days off, but for the most part, I probably work like 25, maybe 30 hours a week. I don't even think I work 30 hours a week. But yeah, I don't tell people I'm a psychologist when I meet them. I don't care what you think about me. I live in Atlanta and I don't go out that much. And I'm reminded when I'm in those sorts of circles because the last time I was around like professionals or people that cared about that kind of thing. I stammered when this lady asked me what I did for work because I wasn't expecting. The event was like a anniversary party, and so I just didn't expect people to ask me the question of what I did for work. Girl, why do you care what I do for work? Ask me about love or something. My boyfriend is here. Ask me about him or something. But no, you asked me about work, and I was like, I don't know what to say. Like I have a signature line that I usually use for people. And I wasn't even thinking about it, didn't even consider that it would happen. In those spaces, I rarely ever talk about work. It's one of the least interesting things about me. You can, ask me anything about psychology. I care about psychology more than the work per se. I think psychology is fascinating and interesting, human behavior. Like there's so many different topics to talk about other than like what you do for work. So, one of the things people talk about a lot when they get to their later life is that they wish they didn't work so much. You won't have to worry about me, okay? And the last thing that I've heard people say they regret, but it's not a thing I have to worry about because I do it, is investing in female friendships. It's super important to me. I mean, I have 4 sisters, so friendships has never been like the top of my priority because I always know I can fall back on my sisters. My mother, I want to say my parents, but I don't know how much this might help. My mother specifically taught us how to be friends, like sister friends. So I like them. I enjoy them. I like some more than others, okay? But I enjoy them. I feel supported by them. I feel loved by them. And so that has been very important. Even if they're biological friends, sister friends, you still have to invest time and energy into them, right? Like you still have to figure out, if we have a conflict, how do we resolve it? If, we're planning something, spending time together, doing nice things for each other, important. I do it. In terms of like female friendships, there are people who can reach out to me. There are people I can reach out to. There are people who I know are rooting for me. There are people I think it's important to stay connected to. And so having those as a part of my life too, also just very important. I love women in general. I love Black women specifically. And so no one has ever supported me and looked out for me like another Black woman. Like outside of my sisters, right? There have been many a Black woman to just look out for me, whether I knew them very well or not at all. And so I just think it's super important to invest in these kind of friendships and to keep the connection there, even if you all don't talk all the time, see each other all the time, that you still say you're important or I valued whatever time we had together. and the connection was important to me, is important to me, and to continue, like, having those conversations. So my life is great. My life is great. I am blessed and highly favored, right? I don't take my life for granted. I really don't. That I've been able to curate and design a life that fits so well with me. Nothing nothing is like set in stone. Like, there's other iterations of my life that will come in the future. We'll get there when we get there. But for now, I'm really excited about figuring out, like, what other things do I want to prioritize? What's next for me? What else am I going to spend a lot of time doing or thinking about, and enjoying life and investing in myself and investing in joy and happiness and peace, all the things. So let me know what you're grateful for. This is basically a gratitude video. Let me know what you're grateful for. I hope you don't have any regrets, or I hope you can reframe anything that you might regret into something that was beneficial to you in the long run. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and thank you for watching.